everyone. I am Roswell Royce Laurie. I am the creator of a dance Facebook called Cool Folks Who Love the Bachata. I created Cool Folks Who Love the Bachata in honor of the dance industry to get back together, unite as one family, and dance again. I decided to unite the world's greatest dancers from all over the world. I want everyone to unite and become one, one big supportive family. Okay. So now that the COVID is over, I would like to continue that accomplishment, which I'm doing. It's been 3 years now since I've had Cool Folks, and I appreciate each and every one of you. I love your postings. I love your announcements. I love what you guys do. You guys are the best. I do my best to come, see your events. I pop up, and I am forever grateful to what you guys do. And you guys are, making a great difference in the dance community. And yeah, so let's continue doing what we're doing. Um, I want to say, first of all, a big thank you to Dance Awakening for hosting our Cool Folks Who Love Bachata anniversary event here in Hialeah, Miami, Florida. Dance Awakening did a wonderful job. They dedicated so much time and energy to make this happen. Actually, they did it for me, and I'm forever grateful for what they did. The performers were great. The instructors, Marcos, you were good. Uh, Cosetta, you're a sweetheart. You did a wonderful job. Yaya, it was good to meet you. Your workshop was good. Ilianis, you did a great job singing, and everyone else who came and showed up. And it was Cinco de Mayo, and I know it was pouring rain here in Hialeah, but you guys still showed up, and that meant a lot to me. That tells me, you know, how good of a people you guys are and how supportive you guys are. So wonderful, wonderful, wonderful job, Dance Awakening. Okay, thank you. Um, I want to bring on one of my guests tonight. She's one of the dearest cool folks who love the bachata members. She's a very good person. She's very good-hearted. I mean, I've never had the chance to meet her personally, but I I I just know she's a good person. I can feel it. She's a great she's great at what she does. She likes to make everyone feels welcome. She travels a lot, and she sees stuff, she observes. She's very educated, very educated woman, and she's a great role model. I think she's a great role model to all dancers. Okay, so I wanted to bring Cassandra on so she can tell us about her journey, advice she can give to the world, to the children. We'll do some talking here. But before I bring Cassandra on, okay, I want to just touch a little bit briefly on the on where the dance world is going in general, and just not necessarily have to do with cool folks. It can be just in general. Now that the COVID is over. So I want to talk about how supportive we can be with one another, and what could be done, and maybe Cassandra can give us her 2 cents as to what's going to be some good ways to the dance world we can support one another. So that is something I want to touch on. Okay. Um, Real quickly, before I bring on Cassandra, and I know I'm chit chatting here like I normally do. This summer, I will come back to New York. So I miss my New Yorkers. It's been a year since I've been in New York, so I miss you guys. I've been in Georgia for almost a year now due to family reasons, but I'm coming back, for the summer, and I'm going to come to most of the events, in Boston and DC, and up north. I plan to be there, and then after summer, I plan to come back down south. Okay, so just wanted to let everyone know that you guys will see me soon. Okay, okay. So let me bring out the wonderful, talented, charming Cassandra. Okay, so Cassandra, how are you?
Hi, everybody.
Hello. I just want to let everyone know that you're live in Minnesota,
Yeah.
and I have to ask you, is it still winter season now, or is it like there's no more snow? Please tell me. It's like the ending of May here. It's like
It's
please tell
gone,
me.
but it wasn't that long ago that we had a huge snowstorm just a couple of weeks ago. So
One of
it
these
is
days I
gone
gotta
though.
really, really. That's I'll be honest with you. That's one of the reasons I kind of left. I kind of escape. Every year I escape New York City and I come down south because, when it starts to get cold and it's snowy and whatever, I become really grumpy, Cassandra. And like I don't want to dance with anyone, even if it's a married woman. I don't want to dance. I don't want to see anyone. I'm just grumpy, 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 and that maybe has to do with the coldness, the time change. I don't know. So every it's funny because every winter I come down south, and then when it's kind of like gets cold down here, then I go back up north. You know, but one of these days I have to come to Minnesota. It's on my list
Yes.
of places to go. So I'm happy
Awesome.
you're taking this time to meet with me. And I know it was sort of like a short notice plan for me to ask you to do this, and you did it quickly. And I just want everyone to know that Cassandra didn't think twice about going live with me. I'm like, Cassandra, can we go live? She's like, yeah.
Oh,
Okay. She's like, when, Russell? 2 days? Yeah, sure. So
I'm honored. Thank you for
she's
having
very
me.
simple. I like that. Okay, so Cassandra, besides what I told everyone about you, you tell everyone what you think they should know about you. Go ahead, take it away.
Well, I am the owner and director of Academia de Baile con Pasión. With my hubby, he couldn't be here tonight. He's actually working late. But our school is now located in Minnesota. We're about a half an hour northwest of Minneapolis. And then we also are the owners and organizers of a yearly event that we host called Bachatur with Baila con Pasión, which is a Dominican dance and cultural immersion adventure. It's an amazing trip. We used to do 2 trips a year. Now we're doing one, which is the end of October. That's coming up in Santo Domingo, starting October 23rd through the 29th. So, and we actually are going to be offering a special discount just for cool folks, which will be a $25 discount on your entire event pass. So if anybody registers from this video, please message Roswell, message me, and we'll make sure you get the discount.
Well, hold up, time out. We didn't practice this in an interview. Hold up, 25. I mean, wait, but let's back up here. I know you were going to give us a discount. $25. Are you sure? That's a lot. That's more than I make in a day at work. That's a
Well, the
lot.
event is a week-long event, so you're in Santo Domingo, so it's not like you're attending a social for $20. So it's a little bit different price structure. So
Oh my God! If you weren't married and you weren't in Minnesota, I would hug you.
well, I would
I
have
would hug
you.
you. That's nice of you. Thank you, thank you. So everyone, you guys, I know you guys are listening to this and stuff. So what Cassandra just said, that's super cool. Okay, I didn't ask her to do this. I didn't, encourage
No,
her.
no, he
She just
didn't.
did it. You see what I'm saying, guys? You see, I practice what I preach. Cassandra is just a super nice, warm-hearted person. Okay, just for the record, and there's
Thanks.
evidence. So thank you for doing that for all of us. Okay. Um,
Absolutely.
what is it like? And I know we kind of like got into this a little bit a couple days. I have a bachata Facebook. You know,
Yeah.
bachata Dominicans. So, I get the question asked a lot. Roswell, when are you going to hop on a plane and come to DR?
I can
And
answer that. It's going to be October 22nd because you're going to be with us in Santo Domingo.
I'm
We're
gonna
going
be
to
with
get him to the DR, you guys.
You're a sweetheart. You're a sweetheart. The thing is that I have a couple. Oh, I just want to say something. So maybe everyone doesn't know the problem that I mean. Besides of being a I'm not man enough. I'm a chicken. But my mom, as most people know, my mom is not well, right? And she just turned 80 and whatever, and she has osteoporosis. Um, so I recently became the primary caretaker of my mom because everyone is like, the rest of my siblings and my family, like Roswell, all you do is travel and dance and look good and pretty and interview people and ask them personal questions. Why don't you do something responsible? Take care of mom. I'm like,
Oh,
I am what? So now it's like a 25 hours a day job, So if I can kind of get like a babysitter or a mom sitter, and around that time I would go. And also if I can, get off from work, I would go. Cassandra,
we
I
would
just
love
want to
that.
say there's no one else on this planet, okay? No one else on this planet I would feel comfortable going with to DR but you and your friends.
Oh, Ross, well,
Because
thank you.
because
Thank you. That means a lot. Thank you.
I'm just not saying that because I'm on camera. I'm saying that because most people know me that I'm a little afraid to try different stuff and to do this and do that, especially going that far and blah blah blah. So I always need to feel secure. I need to feel safe. You I can even give you my passport and I don't need it. You can just like hold on to it for me. I mean that's what I'm trying to say.
Thank
So
you.
thank you for doing that. But
Thank
but
you.
tell us more. What is it? I mean, DR. What is it? I mean, what's so what is it about DR that you love? Like, what is it about
Oh my
compared
God.
to, I mean,
Everything.
everything.
Um,
Yeah.
well, for one thing, I forgot to give you guys the website. So if you're interested in Bacha Tour, you want to go to www.latindancetours with an S.com. Latindancetours.com. That
Okay,
is our Bacha Tour website.
Cassandra, do me a favor. Maybe after our interview, maybe on the Cool Folks page, an
Yeah,
announcement, you can just write that so everyone can, please do me.
absolutely.
I want to encourage everyone to go. But I didn't mean to interrupt you. Finish what you're saying. I'm sorry. I
No,
didn't mean.
that's okay. That's okay. You asked me what I love. What is so special about DR? Um, I think there's a lot of things that are special about DR. I love the culture overall.
Okay.
Um, just I don't know. When I get off the plane there, my whole being just relaxes. It's like I feel like I'm home.
Mhm.
Um, and even my Bacha tour guests will tell you the night before it's time to come home, outside of getting to see my baby dog and my dad again, um,
Uh,
I am an anxious mess coming back to the US. I love our country,
mhm.
uh, but I love the DR as well.
Okay.
The culture, the people, certainly the people, number one.
Mhm.
The music, the dance, the food. Oh my God, just everything. I did not want to move back to the US, but things happen for a reason, and I'm glad that we're here.
Okay. Wonderful. Wonderful. That's great. I'm happy you said that because like when I grew up in the 80s and 90s and stuff, like I used to hear like a lot of like negative stereotypes about like Latin community, Latin cultures, you know um people used to say Roswell, if somebody doesn't talk English, then just keep away from them. They don't know anything. They're not smart. They're not going to get anywhere. So I always grew up, and it's kind of funny, that I'm saying this now because I have a Pachata Facebook. But when I
Right,
was
right,
younger, I was around, not my family and friends. We loved, our Latin community. But outside of my home, going around to the corner store, people were mean back then in the 80s and 90s. There wasn't that much diversity, and so
yeah,
people used to say, Roswell, don't keep away from him because he doesn't speak English, and you guys might get an argument. He might say something, and you might say something, and you can't translate it. And back then, there was not Google Translator and all of that stuff.
right, right.
So, and then I grew up with stereotypes about Dominicans specifically. I didn't really hear much, like negative stuff about like Colombians or PR or Venezuela. It was always like the DRs I heard. Like everyone's telling me, you know men are macho and they're stubborn and all of that stuff and blah blah blah. And I'm like, well, a man is a man. It's part of life, and it is what it is. So and then for some odd reason, I just went towards like the American way of life. I began to listen to American music. I grew up with like like Madonna, Michael Jackson,
Right,
Prince,
right.
Cyndi Lauper, all of that stuff, and so I didn't even think about Latin music and Dominicans back then, because my mind was already like with negative views. And then I got I was in a relationship, Cassandra. I was dating someone for 8 years,
Okay.
right? And it was a Dominican person, and then things didn't work out. And then when it didn't work out, I said to myself, I should have. I should have listened to those people when I was young. Keep away from people from DR and whatever. And then I said to myself, no, 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 no. There got to be more to it. There got to
Yeah.
be more to it. So I
Yeah.
said, let me prove to me that Dominicans in general, you know, are super cool. Okay, cool folks love the bachata. Okay, so I decided to. And remember, I don't speak Spanish at all. I mean, hola and okay, and adios. That's all I
Bachata.
know. God is my
Hola and
witness.
bachata.
God is my witness. So I decided to, by chance, I just got sick and tired of listening to the same music over and over and over and over. It's the same station, the same DJ, and I said, God, is this what life is? So I said, let me play around with the station. I heard some Latin music. I heard some like da 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 and like hola, all this stuff. Like, and I'm like, I may not understand what the dude was singing, but
Right, right.
it felt like love. It felt like good. It felt cool,
Yeah.
cool. Okay, so then one thing led to the next, and then I decided to listen to this guy, Romero Santos from Aventura, and I'm like, that guy got a good voice.
Yeah, he
You know,
does.
I'm like, he's such a, he's like my nephew. I just want to hug him. Give him a big. And then one thing led to the next, and then my favorite Prince Royce, who everyone knows, because I saw him last
Yeah.
year at concert. So before you know it, I completely switched from American to Dominican
I love it.
overnight.
I
I
love
like
it.
literally we like all American music, all American friends. Like now, I've been hanging out with more Latin people. I've been going to bachata stuff and traveling the world. And I said I'm going to open cool folks who love the bachata.
I
Okay,
love it.
so I just wanted to share that with everyone to let everyone know that um, this cool folks who love the bachata thing. It was developed on a personal reason, among other reasons. It wasn't just developed to make Facebook look good. There's a
Right.
lot of reasons why it's called cool folks who love the bachata. Okay, not cool folks who love to like wampa or disco or like
Right, right,
whatever.
right.
There's nothing wrong with those dances, but there's a reason I have it as cool folks who love the bachata. Okay, based upon that reason. So I guess what I'm trying to say, Cassandra, to make things short, I learned to respect Dominicans. Even though I haven't been there yet, I learned to respect people, even though I don't understand what they're saying. They don't look like me or whatever. I mean, I learned that because when I was younger, I was influenced not to do that. Okay, so I want everyone to
Right.
listen to this. I was influenced not to, but I had to develop a mind of my own, and I like to prove stuff to myself. Yes, there are Dominicans out there. I just want to let you know. Yes, they're all macho, and some of them I would not even go at their house at 1 a.m. to ask for dinner, but everywhere there are bad people and there are good people. So I want everyone to understand. Even
Exactly.
my people on West Indies, there are bad West Indies and bad. Okay, so just for the
Exactly.
records, okay, Dominicans are cool, and I'm honored Cassandra's here to talk about the culture and and to encourage people to come. Okay, Cassandra, hit me. I know I'm taking your interview
You're
over,
good.
so
You're
hit me,
good.
hit me.
Do
Go
you
talk.
are
You talk.
well,
You talk.
Bachatur is my baby. This is our event is a Dominican cultural immersion vacation.
Hmm.
We are not on a resort. You guys are immersed in Dominican culture.
Hmm.
Um, it's amazing. We do workshops with Dominican instructors. I'm the only non-Dominican instructor. We do workshops in the morning, and then we head out for our day trips every day. We go all over different areas of Santo Domingo, the towns and cities around Santo Domingo. We go out as far as Bonao, which is a very famous city known for their Bonao style bachata. And we do a workshop there. And then we spend the day at Rio Fula, which is a river, a very famous river in Bonao. It's beautiful, lots of dancing, lots of bachata, lots of merengue. So I'm not kidding when I say we dance everywhere we go. It's amazing. And we only take 20 people. We are not a congress where we have hundreds of people. As wonderful as those are, they're
Hmm.
fabulous. But we are a small event. We don't take any more than 20 people. So once tickets are sold out, they're sold out.
Oh
So
wow,
yeah,
that's
it's really
respectful.
awesome. It's very personal.
Yeah.
Everybody gets personal access to all of the instructors. Um, Andy Santiago is with us. He is the he's the artist who does Con la lámpara apagar,
Uh-huh.
and then Baila Mi Bachata. He will be with us. He's doing a musicality workshop. He does that
Okay.
every budget tour, and he'll be
Okay.
with us when we're out and about. And then, of course, at night, we got to go dance. So we are immersed in every way possible. It's amazing. And you really do become, because we're such a small group, you
Hmm.
really do end up making lifelong friends. We have people that have come back on the trip with us 3, 4, 5 times. We have return guests coming with us in October.
Wow.
So, yeah, it's amazing. That's my baby.
So, how if you don't mind me asking again, I'm sorry. How long have you been doing this? How long have you guys been doing this? Is it
This will be this would be our 11th 11th year, but our 15th event, because
wow?
we used to do 2 trips for several years. We did 2 trips a year. Now we're back down to 1 trip a year, which is working out really well. Um,
Mhm.
so it's our 15th trip, but 11th year.
Okay, great. That
Yeah, it's an awesome trip. And my husband is in charge of all of the logistics. Um, and it's also really cool. Our family there is huge. My husband's family is very large. So quite a few of my brothers-in-law and our nephews are with us. We've got people doing security. We've got transportation. We've got cousins that come and dance. So we've got plenty of people to dance with.
mm,
We just have an amazing time.
it makes me think. I always like to compare stuff. I do legal work. I do research and all of that stuff. I like to compare. I like to look at the past, compare it to the present, and be like, wow, look how far we came, or look, or it's like Cassandra is like a photo album. When you're married and
Yep.
then you get the first day you get married, then you look back many years later, and you're like, that's me in a what? And like, what's going on here? you know
Yep.
um so I wanted to ask you, based upon those many years that's been going on and that's successful, compared to day one when you first did it, did you ever think it would make it past the first year? I mean, when you look back.
Um, yes and no. There were some things just starting out. You learn along the way. Um, my husband is just an absolute godsend. He makes sure that everything is taken care of. I don't worry
Mhm.
about a thing except making sure that our guests are having a wonderful time. Um, but I think, you learn a lot by doing. Um, I don't think I ever really thought about that it would last this long. But it's grown, um, and it's an amazing trip. We love this event. And like I said, we've got people that return, 3, 4, 5 times. So I do think in a way I thought it would continue, but then when COVID hit, um, we it was a little shaky. We had to reschedule um, the October, what was it? October 2020. I'm sorry, 21. April 21. We had to reschedule. October 21. We had to reschedule. Uh, but I mean, we certainly weren't the only ones. That was going on worldwide. Congresses and festivals, which are events way bigger than ours, were going through the same things. So I think the dance world really got hit hard. Um, but I think that dancers are resilient and we're crazy enough because it's in our blood to never give up. No matter what obstacles you face, we make it happen.
You guys definitely make it happen, and it's true. I wanted to ask, like, I know, like, there's other stuff that goes on, and now people are like, they have their stuff in like in Spain and like Japan and whatever. So I'm just kind of curious, Cassandra, what do you think is like maybe a couple reasons that why people are coming back? Like you just said, they're coming back. They're just not coming back just because of the hot weather and the DR. There has to be. I mean, what? I mean, I don't know. I mean, what do you think could be a possible reason? You know, that they keep coming back, and not because of the low airfare, It's like there gotta be
It's
more
not
to
low
it. What do you?
anymore.
Yeah, what do you think? Why
It's not
people
low
are
anymore.
coming
I
keep coming
think
back?
we've heard from a lot of our guests tell us that we just do an amazing job with the event, and we truly do care about everybody having a wonderful time. If we have something on the schedule, and people want to do the thing that we did yesterday instead of do the thing that's on the schedule, being a small event, we're able to pivot and do those kinds of changes. Um, and we definitely go above and beyond to make sure everybody is having a wonderful time. Um,
Okay.
and I think because it is a small event,
Mhm.
it's very personal. You really you start the trip a lot of times as strangers, except for our return guests, and you really leave as family. But you guys know the dance world is a big family, which is amazing. Um,
Yes.
so I think that's a big part of it. Um, we really try. You don't expect to sleep very much. I can tell you that because we try to do as much as we possibly can in the time that we're there. So I think there's a lot that goes into people wanting to come back.
Now, oh yeah, definitely. I definitely agree with you. I'm just analyzing while you talk. God bless you and all the other organizers that do what you guys do. Like for example, Dance
Thank you.
Awakening. Like
Thank you.
they just hosted my event. They said, Russell, just come on down and just look pretty and take pictures and go home. To be an organizer, especially now, it's kind of like challenging. I would imagine, now that COVID is over and more competition and blah 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 blah. So, it's you know, to be an organizer here in the U.S., okay, whatever, but overseas to get everything, Cassandra, so you got to do all the so your work you do work here, and then you got to do work when you go there, so it doesn't stop. So
No.
how do you? I don't know. Maybe it's a time management question. I think I'm going to ask you. Yeah, I think. Yeah, I think. Yeah. So how do you manage, Cassandra? How have you been managing to actually make this happen? I mean, we're not talking about you're in Minnesota. You can just walk across the street and get things done. You got to go all the way to DR and
To another
bring
country, right?
yeah and things when you get there you got to pray that everything is okay. So how do you do it, my friend? How do you do
Well,
it?
I mean, we pretty much have a system now,
Okay.
um, but that came into play as we did more and more events.
Hmm.
So we really do have everything organized, with the exception of a couple small details that we do when we're there.
Hmm.
Everything is pretty much in place before we even get there. Um, it didn't start out like that, but that's how we have it now. So we've got a pretty well oiled machine going, which I think makes it smooth. Even when there's things that make you have to pivot, like a couple of trips, we had to, of course, everybody had to be tested for COVID before we flew over there and then be tested when we came back. So we just had made arrangements for someone to come to the hotel, test all of our guests, and make sure everybody was covered before their flight the next day. So we just plan ahead. I will say though, in DR, you plan ahead and be prepared for anything to happen.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
Things can definitely change quickly, but we have a wonderful time wherever we go.
I'm beginning to think, well, first of all, I just want to say somebody sent a comment here when we were talking about the DR stuff, in October. Someone said, and I don't really know the name, it just says Facebook user. It says, OMG, I want to be one of those lucky people. Okay.
Nice. Well, come with us.
Yes, whoever said that, you heard what she said. Okay. She said, come with
Come
you
with
guys.
us.
She's the boss. So you do what she says. Okay. She says, come with you guys.
I hope your
But
comment is public because then later after the interview, I can respond with information. We'd love to have you join us.
yeah, everyone that's listening and please, Cassandra is your go-to person for this. If you guys when you guys are interested or to do this or you guys are want to do this, what just she's your go-to person. But remember, try to do these things early because there's a lot of organization Cassandra has to do and a lot of stuff. It's not just like overnight, like bing bang boom. It's not like this
Right,
this
right.
this is a big thing. So if you guys are planning to do this and stuff, out of respect and courtesy for Cassandra and the people in DR, okay, try to do this, as quick, as soon as
Thanks,
possible.
Roscoe.
Okay.
Thank you.
I just want to, let everyone know. Um, I want to say, Cassandra, besides DR, what are some, like me, for example, I used to live in, well, no, I wanted to say I used to live in Germany, but I never did. I felt like I lived in Germany because I used to go like, like on a Thursday, come back on a Monday, like 3, 4 times a year. Back when I was in college, back when I was, like younger, and I lived more money. I had nothing to do with my life, but Dusseldorf, Germany was great. I studied abroad in London. I did a journalism course. You know,
Nice.
um, I visited. My family's from Guyana in South America, near Brazil. I remember I have
Okay.
vivid memories when I was a kid. I used to go South America, and I remember the people, the food, the culture, and I went. Yeah, I traveled to Canada, in the U.S. and traveled here and traveled there. So, Cassandra, I guess what I'm trying to ask is, of all the places except DR, I know you're probably going to be DR's number one. Get it out of your mind. Except DR, excluded DR, what are some other fascinating places you've been to? And not only you've been to, where you felt as a dancer, you made a difference. Okay, you made a difference in that community. Just roughly, just speaking out loud. I mean, can you
Oh my
think of?
gosh.
Yeah. I mean,
That's a hard question. I mean, I think every instructor makes an impact at every event that they're a part of. Um,
mhm,
I think that everybody brings something to the table that nobody else can because we're all unique individuals.
mhm.
Um, I think right now one of the events that's forefront in my mind is the Egypt Sensual Bachata
Okay.
Festival, which is in Hurghada. I was teaching there last year, which was amazing. I was supposed to be teaching this year, but we had some things come up, so I wasn't able to go. But I will be there next year.
Okay.
That will be April 10th through the 17th. And
Mhm,
I will have a discount code. So as soon as that we've got all that, I'll get all the information out. Egypt was amazing. Um, one trip is definitely not enough. The festival itself is wonderful. It's amazing. The artists are fabulous. Really, really wonderful event. But I really do think that every event that we get to be a part of, we impact people. Um, whether it be even just encouraging somebody if they're having a really crappy day. It can even be something on a personal level like that. I think that instructors and artists really do impact people at every event that they're a part of.
Um, I was speaking to my friend Dola last week. I don't know. I think a couple weeks ago. Yeah, he had the World Dance Festival in Baltimore this past Saturday. Dola is a
Nice, nice.
nice guy. Um, and of course, I'm asking him Roswell questions. Not really dancer questions. So I said, Dola, after this event is over, you're heading to the Bahamas, right? Or you're heading to like, Paris or whatever, right? You're coming to New York, we're gonna hang out on the dance floor. No, Roswell, it doesn't go that way. But I'm like,
Right.
are you sure? Yes, I'm sure, Roswell. So I guess what I'm trying to say, Dola, you're an angel. I like you. I respect you. I learned a lot from you. But I can never do what you do, or Cassandra do, or the rest of the organizers do. I'm not, I don't have it in me. So I respect you guys. So Cassandra, how much planning, and you just mentioned April, you mentioned the Egypt. Why is it important? Let's say there are people that are listening to this that may want to do what you guys do, you and Dolan and everyone else. Why is it important and essential to to do these things in advance? To book stuff in advance, to not wait until like 2 days before, and I'm like, I'm going to buy a ticket to DR and come see. Why is it? I mean, people still do that, but why? What why? What is it that those that are not haven't are not seeing what you see? Why do you think it's important for them to actually, you know, try to do things a little early? Like how time consuming can it be to plan these major events?
Yeah, I think as an organizer, you have to be planning at least a year, if not two, in advance, because you've got hotel arrangements to make sure that that's all taken care of. You've got logistics for tours and day trips and all of that. You've got other artists to line up. to teach at your event. If there's performances, you've got to get that all in place. There's a lot that goes into it. Um, but I do know that organizers that do events like ours, or even much bigger events like congresses and festivals like that,
Mhm.
um, we love what we do. We would not, nobody would do this if they didn't truly love what they do, because it is a big responsibility, and you are emotionally invested in your guests having an amazing time. So you have to plan ahead. For it to be successful, you have to plan ahead. As far as guests, um, certainly most events can accommodate somebody registering at the last minute, but an event like ours that we only take 20 guests, we're not necessarily able to do that if we're sold out. If we have tickets available, that's
Mhm.
one thing, but if we're sold out, we're sold out. So you want to
Right.
make sure that you get your tickets so that you
Mhm.
don't miss out on the event.
So someone like me who normally, I mean, can't believe I'm saying this live and people are listening to me.
I
Oh
have
God, help me.
witnesses, you guys. We're all in on this. I have witnesses.
I guess what I'm going to tell you guys is, so I'm one of those people because I am one of those people that I wait until like 42 hours, no, actually no 24 hours to call cool folk people and say, hey, remember me? You're on my bachata Facebook. Hey, is it okay if I just come the next? They probably got used to me and they're like, oh, okay, it's Ross, so we'll email him a year later. He got to learn his lesson. Don't wait
We'll
until
save you a
so
spot.
I'm cool, folks. I'm cool, but I'm not organized. I want everyone to know I am not organized, and I cannot do what Cassandra just said and what Zola and everyone. I don't. I'm not there yet, but so I respect. Again, I'm going to say this, for the record. I respect you, Cassandra, for what you're doing. You
Thank
know,
you. Thank you.
not many people, including me, can do what you do. I cannot preach what I say, which you could. So I just want to let you know that. Okay.
Thank
Um.
you.
Now let's talk about some stuff about you. Okay. So when I was a kid, right, and I'm still a kid. A grown man, only one piece of hair in my chest. I'm still a kid. No, no. When I was a kid, I was very, just, I want to do what I want to do. I'm a November child. I'm a Sag, very rebellious, fire type, and my parents would say, you're going to be a doctor, you're going to be a lawyer, you're not going to be a dancer. You got that, son? Look, you're not going to be a dancer. They're shaking their head this way. You're not going to go into television. You're not going to. And what did I do? I went into television, broadcast, dance.
Yeah,
But I did manage somehow to do my bachelor's and my master's and the PhD stuff and all of that good stuff. 'Cause I do like to help people. I just want everyone to know I I do like to help people, and I am doing research on Alzheimer's care. So I do like to help people.
that's so amazing.
But yeah, thank you. So I appreciate it. But
It
but
really is.
but the problem that I had is just that you know, I didn't. My family and I love them a lot. They didn't ask me what I want. They're like, "You're gonna do it." So all
Oh,
along, I had to brush dancing, and so I had to be on the side. Like I don't want them to see me sneaking into a TV studio or dance studio. I can't let them know.
right,
I can't have social media. My parents would know. So then I said to myself that um, um, I just had to do what I had to do because it is what it is. So Cassandra, growing up and stuff, being the I don't know in Minnesota. I mean, did you? Is this what you wanted to do? Was this a dream you had? When your teacher, in in grammar school, your teacher's like, everyone write what you would like to be when you grow up. Did you write you're going to be a doctor, a lawyer, or a cool organizer? Like, how did you become Cassandra?
I knew from a very, very, very young age what I was going to do with my life. And
Okay.
I'm very blessed, incredibly blessed to be a part of the family that I'm a part of. My mom was also a professional dancer.
Mhm.
My dad supported her through everything that she wanted to do. My family
Okay.
is just amazing. So I grew up, I mean, I started dancing when I was 2. My mom had my sister and I in dance classes when we were 2 years old. But I knew from a very, very young age what I was going to do with my life. And I'm lucky because a lot of people don't figure that out until way later in life. And I pursued that.
That's me. That's me.
I pursued that, and I'm so grateful that I had the opportunities to do that when
Yeah.
I was younger.
Okay. I mean, I guess with me, I mean, I shouldn't like really badmouth my family because they're not listening to this. I don't care. So yeah, why not? No, no, but in due respect, I mean, I guess maybe it has to do with culture because
Yeah,
my
I think
family,
it's
they
cultural
were
too.
like old school. Like, I guess they just migrated to this country from their country, and
Right.
they never had this stuff that I have. And I guess my parents were like, you don't want to work hard like me, and you don't want to suffer like me, so you make sure you be somebody, you be something. So I thought, okay,
Right.
go to
They
school
mean
and blah
well.
blah blah.
They mean well.
But deep down inside of my heart, yeah, you don't see me having a Facebook that says cool folks who like to represent people in court, but or
No,
you don't see my Facebook that says cool folks who love to represent
no.
people on a death table in a hospital. You don't see,
Right.
you see cool folks love to bachata because even though in the days I'm a legal person and I'm a serious person, at night and the evenings on the weekends now, I'm cool folks who love to bachata because
Yep.
that it's just something that I do unconditionally because I love it. If I don't like it, I love it. Okay,
That's the key right there.
that's the key. Okay, so that's the reason I was asking that question because some people are like, I don't know, I'm just gonna. I think dancing is cool. I think bachata is wonderful, and I'm just gonna do it. But Cassandra, how you responded, I like that because you're an example of how people should have a path in life and kind of like figure out stuff, know what they want, and if plan A
Thank
doesn't work,
you.
you got plan B and whatever. So I like that. That's a great
Thank you.
response. And number two, I wonder if I can come over to your house and be part of your family now because like
Come
okay,
on, the door's open.
come into Minnesota, snow or no snow, I don't
There
care.
you go.
No, okay, okay. But um, let's see. Advice. I was about to ask you about advice you would like to give to the world. Children are very important.
Yes.
Okay, and I say that because when I was a kid, even though my family was strict and stuff, I always had that support.
Yeah.
I mean, I never Um, sadly to say, I never drank before, never smoked, never did drugs, like the good kid, don't even eat meat, except salmon. Yeah. And what, didn't really go to jail, just kind of bypassed jail. I guess, went to school, came home,
It's a good thing.
didn't get any, STDs or, I guess what I'm trying to say, in a way that's good, but in a way it's kind of bad because I lived a sheltered life. There's a lot of stuff
Mhm.
I missed out on, so I guess what I'm trying to say, um, I still had, role models like my family and my dad and my uncle, and I'm like, I want to be just like them when I grow up and do what stuff. So, um, but advice that you have for young ones that are looking at you and I talk now. They might want to follow in your footsteps. They might want to maybe become an actor, or maybe they want to become a dancer or a model. I don't know. But what advice could you give to them, if they decide to pursue that journey?
Absolutely. Follow your dreams.
Okay.
Follow your dreams. We're given, I really truly believe that we're given the passions that we have, that the things that move your soul are your passions. Those are things, those things are there for a reason. That all has to do with your calling and your purpose in this life.
Okay.
And so follow your dreams. Don't let anybody tell you you can't do this, or oh, you won't make any money, or you don't have the talent, or you don't have this, or you don't have that. Who cares? Do you follow your dreams and work hard. You're going to have to work hard, but if you really love what you do, you don't feel like you're working.
Right.
You
Okay.
really don't. Like even with Bachatur, we don't sleep hardly at all, but we love what we do. With my dance company, same thing. I love what I do. It doesn't ever feel like work to me. So whether it's following your path into the world of dance, or I don't know, electrical engineering. Follow your path, follow what moves your soul.
Well, I don't know about electrical engineering, but everything else I would shake my head at. Electrical engineering, that's a
I'm
lot
not
of
into
math.
that either, but if somebody is, follow your path.
Okay,
Whatever
okay,
interests you, what moves your soul.
okay. Electrical engineer. Okay, okay. We'll add that to the list. Okay, but thank God I'm not gonna follow that. I barely passed algebra in high school. Like, oh my God, I can't believe I made it this far in life. Anyway, no, but you guys, but Cassandra just said, do it, okay? Because she knows what she's talking about, and it's
Don't
true.
give up.
Follow your path, follow your dream. I mean, I always say something, and I may be ignorant for saying this, but I always believe, um, a lot of people say, I mean, you can be a black guy, you can be a white guy, you can be an Hispanic guy, you can be a Chinese guy, you can be a fat guy, you can be a skinny guy, you can be an ugly guy, you can be a smart guy. And any of those options, you could either be the president of the United States, you can be an astronaut, you can be a teacher, you can be a dancer, you can be someone
Exactly.
that's very bad and stuck in jail. So it's not about, and I want everyone to seriously understand this. It's not about the race or your ethnicity that makes you a good man or a bad man. Okay,
Exactly.
it's a support you get from your peers, your culture, and especially your family. I believe that in my heart because me, for example, even though I just preach to the world that no, I don't smoke, I don't drink, I'm afraid to travel the world. Um, you know, that's good, but then again, it's kind of bad because I missed out on all this stuff. But if it was the opposite, let's say my parents did say, "Yeah, Roswell, go out there, do whatever you want to do. Don't come home if you don't want to. Here's a pack of cigarettes, or whatever." I mean, the point
Right.
is that it doesn't matter if I'm black, I'm white, I'm fat, I'm skinny. It's an upbringing I had. It's the upbringing
Yeah.
that I had, and it's the upbringing that children have that makes them, a black guy could be the president of the United States if it is possible, and it was possible, as we know,
Yeah,
with the
absolutely.
upbringing. Okay, so I just want everyone to know. So, Cassandra, this is the reason I ask you and everyone that I interview, you know, you know, why is it? What advice can you guys give? Because the advice is coming from you, from your mouth. It's coming from you. And
Right.
kids do. When I was young, I mean, I had a tendency to listen to stuff that I want to listen to.
Hmm.
So that's the reason. I always ask every dancer so far, what advice, not what advice can I give kids. If I give kids advice now, there's going to be lawsuits here. But that's why I ask from the professionals. Okay, kids, listen what Cassandra said. Okay, it is true. Just so I want to say thank you for that answer.
Yeah,
Okay, now
absolutely.
yeah. Now, what advice can you give to the big people now, the grown-ups? Like, the dance world, COVID, dot, 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 okay, kind of over, and everyone is back up and running, and blah, blah. Where do you see the dance world is going, man? Like, what's going on? There's like stuff going on every day, more competition. We got to
I
talk about
think
that
we
soon.
are
So, where's
hit
the dance world going?
we're hitting the ground running. We were
Yeah.
shut down. Our entire industry, well, heck, our entire world was shut down with COVID. It wasn't just our industry; it was everybody. But
Okay.
we know we're hitting the ground running. We're right back on track, like we never missed a beat.
Okay.
We just
Okay.
have to keep going.
Okay, great. Yeah, yeah, I agree with you. And here is the big thing I wanted to touch on, Cassandra, because and I know I kind of brought this up a couple days ago where we were rehearsing and preparing for the interview.
Right, right.
Um, Once again, just for the records, I want everyone to know I am not a professional dancer. Okay, I've never been to dancing school. I'm not an organizer. Okay, so what I'm gonna say, please don't I don't want you guys to beat me up 1 a.m. in the morning when I come to your event, or don't let me in for saying what I'm going to say. But I want to say that I've noticed, and I don't want to mention names or whatever, but I just in general, okay, for the records, I have not been seeing much support, um, since the COVID stuff, it's going away. I saw it before COVID. Okay, the support. Everyone would go. If, for example, 5 miles radius of a city. Okay,
Okay.
John, Carlos, Mary, Ed, Jane have an event within 5 miles. Okay,
Okay.
within 5 miles. Okay, not 10 miles, not 20 miles, 5 miles, 5 miles. You can walk it, right? So, like I said, Cassandra, I never really did well in algebra, but I still see stuff, and I still. So I'm thinking, instead of, it's a Saturday night, instead of all of these five wonderful, wonderful, wonderful organizers, dancers, blah, blah, have this stuff there and that stuff there, this stuff there, wouldn't it make it easier? I don't know if they unite at least for that one day, come together, you know, I don't know, split the profit or whatever the next day. Because instead of having, Jane and Ed and they're there, and the friends have to choose who they're going to go to, and then who's loyal, who's not loyal, and then I, I don't know.
Right.
Again,
It can be
I'm not an
tricky.
organizer. I'm not a dancer. I just want everyone to know that. So maybe I don't know what I'm saying, but Cassandra, I guess you know where I'm going with this conversation. So, what advice? I mean, I would just think, blah blah blah. Why not all five of them just unite for that one day and make it a big thing? That's only me, but I don't know. So Cassandra, I don't know. What advice can you say? Can you add to that? What advice can you say about making every? I don't know, man. I don't know.
Well, I think that there's a lot of things that go into that, particularly after COVID. I mean, I've got a lot of colleagues that lost their business. They lost their livelihood. They had to close their doors. Those of us that are still operating are incredibly blessed to be still operating because that took a lot of people out. And I mean that I'm not talking like people lost lives, of course they did, but I'm talking like their businesses were lost because they just couldn't keep going. So I'm incredibly lucky to still be operating. Um, I think with regard to that piece, I
Mhm.
really think that most people are honestly just with their nose to the ground, working on rebuilding everything that was lost from COVID. Um, I mean, everybody had to basically start from square one all over again. Even if you had your business for years and years and years, you're still starting over. Um, the whole world changed, and it wasn't just in our industry. I think it was across the board. Lots of industries are dealing with the same thing. So I think that's the biggest thing. The other piece I think is that coming from an organizer perspective, I think a lot of people forget that because we host events that are so much fun, like guests are not really, they're there to enjoy. You're not there as a guest to worry about how the studio rent gets paid or how you get paid or how, expenses are paid. But we have to remember that it's a business. And so you have to charge at the door for a social because expenses to host the social have to be paid. If it's at a studio, you have to pay for the studio rent. If it's at a club, you might be splitting what comes in at the door with the owner, depending on how you set it up. So there's always expenses that have to be paid, but guests should not have to think about that. That's our job as the organizer. So I think a big part of that too is trying to make sure that your events are generating enough revenue to cover the expenses that you need to have covered. I think our dance community, not just here, but all over the place, is growing so fast, which is an amazing thing. There's going to be more than one event on any given Saturday night or any given Friday night. Maybe not in smaller cities, but in the big cities like, New York, LA, Chicago, here, there's multiple things going on Fridays, multiple things going on Saturdays. Um, we definitely try to work around, like if we're going to plan a special event,
Mhm.
the first thing we do is hop on the calendar and see what's going on when, and we try to pick a date where there's not another event going on. It's not always possible, especially in bigger cities, because there's so much going on and there's so much growth in the community. It's not always possible to pick a date where there isn't something else going on. We certainly try. And I think that there are people that definitely want to collaborate, but it can be challenging when you talk about the 5 dance companies that are within the 5 miles. Every one of those companies still has to see to it that their expenses are paid. So I think that's a big part of it too. I definitely think artists want to collaborate. And I think a lot of people do their best to do so. But I think also, um, COVID was traumatic. I mean, that was traumatic for business owners, not just in our industry, across the board. It was traumatic. It was traumatic across the board, even people being ill. You're worried about loved ones. You might have been sick. So I think the whole thing was just so stressful. And I think that people are kind of just now starting to come out from underneath the rubble of that. So I think that's a big piece of it.
Okay, yeah, I mean, definitely, I guess, my mom always tells me, don't worry about stuff that you don't need to be worried about. Yeah, I'm sorry, I'm one of those guests. I'm one of those weird guests that be like, oh my god, I can't believe you didn't make that much money, bro. I feel bad. I gotta cut that out. People. But yeah, I'm one of those people. I mean, I don't know. Maybe because like, everyone is my friend, everyone is my buddy.
Right,
I'm
right.
not. I mean,
That's a good thing.
as everyone knows, I have this platform for you guys, for all 2,800 members of you
That's
as a private
amazing.
group.
That is so
So,
amazing.
so for me, to like, pick and choose which event I'm gonna go to. Oh God, I hate to be in the middle of that. So I
Right,
gotta give support to everyone. Even though they're competing against their own brand and all this stuff and competition. I mean, I'm cool. I'm cool, man. Who loves to bachata?
right,
What can I do? So, but in all due respect, I got it with the five amigos, and they all got stuff to do. But I'm still thinking. This competition stuff, maybe it's been around before COVID, before I was born. Maybe when Mary and Joseph, Jesus, and all that stuff. I don't know. I wasn't back. I wasn't there back. But I'm just thinking, competition has always been around, and it will be,
right, right, right.
right? But how can you? Not you personally, Cassandra, but how can a dancer, a professional guy or woman, still keeps his reputation and not damage his relationship with a buddy or whatever? So those five amigos that I mentioned, they all got they got bills to pay and blah blah blah. But how can they still? I guess is it a matter of ethics I'm asking here? Maybe it's an ethic question here. So how can all five of these people, whatever, still do what they have to do, keep the bread on the table and whatever, but the next day, they can still look at their colleague or their friend, in the eye and say, "Hey, how you doing? What's up?" How can that? I know that's a weird question. That's a weird, but I'm just
Well, it
curious.
is
I'm
part
just
of the
curious.
business. It
Mhm,
is. And I think there's just a mutual respect across the board. Everybody knows that everybody is making a living doing what we do. It's not a personal thing. Like if we have to plan an event and there's something going on somewhere else near us, and if there wasn't another date that we could plan it for, it's not a personal thing, it's business.
okay.
Um, and I really think that a lot of schools do such a great job about building their own their own community,
Mhm,
um, their own community within a community, if that makes any sense.
mhm,
And I know, like when I had my school in Charlotte, North Carolina, um, there was a ton of collaboration. There was only 2 schools there at the time, mine and another school, and
mhm.
we did a lot of. I mean, we definitely supported each other. And I still know the folks that had the other school there. Were definitely definitely friends. I think it's just a mutual professional respect, and that it's not a personal thing.
Okay, so it's not a Roswell thing. Pretty much.
No, no, no. And a lot of people would go, like if we had events on the same night,
Mhm,
because there wasn't other dates that we could have them. We had a lot of people that would go to one event, spend half the evening there, and then spend the other half at the other place. So there are a lot of people that go back and forth to different events, which I think is amazing. I think it's just amazing that people would even do that. It's wonderful.
Yeah, and I know you and I were talking about that. We were mentioning some names, before we were rehearsing. So, I wish, I mean, I'm sorry, forgive me. I just, I forgive me, everyone. I just, I don't know. Maybe I do. I mean, I'm a human services major. I like to help people, right? So I just, I don't know. I just like unity. It just, I don't know. I watched too many television shows and soap operas in the '80s. I
Right,
don't
but
know.
what
I
we
don't
were
know about
talking about was
reality.
all good stuff. It was
So
all good stuff.
yeah,
Yeah,
but yeah, that's a good response, and I just wanted to bring that up because you have been in this business, for a long time. You know what you're talking about. You do practice what you preach, and so if
thank you.
anyone could respond to that answer, it's you, Cassandra. Because
Thank you.
okay. So I
Thank
just
you.
want everyone to respect the response Cassandra did, and and to learn from that. Okay. I know
Thank
there are organizers and stuff that are looking at this, and so hopefully this may help in the future now that the COVID stuff is going away and it's gone, and you guys got to compete again, right?
Right,
Okay.
right.
So Cassandra, I know we're running out of time, and
That's
I gotta practice. I need to really practice my interviews more properly. Everyone's telling me, like, I keep telling people, I admire Oprah and Barbara Walters and all that stuff, and I'm not even doing close to what they're doing. Like I'm always going over or I'm coming up with questions that we didn't rehearse in the back. So
that's
I said,
okay.
one of these days, one of you guys are gonna beat the crap out of me when you guys see me. but
You
but
want it to be natural.
yeah, I'm just going with the flow, just who I
Exactly.
am.
Exactly.
Um, but I just want to ask you a quick question. I know you got to go. But when it's I don't know, like this summer. What are some something this summer? Is there any like events or something that I mean you feel comfortable informing people of that they should be aware of coming up this summer, or
Absolutely.
it's just something that
Absolutely.
yeah.
The Denver Bachata Festival is coming up. Again, the dates are, I wrote them down so I got them correct. I didn't want to mess them up with Egypt. Denver Bachata Festival is coming up August 18th through the 21st. I will be back teaching. My team will be performing, so that's going to be another amazing event. That's a fabulous, fabulous event. Um, as far as events here, I'm not aware of anything as far as festivals or congresses
Mhm.
that I know of. We There's also Egypt is coming up. They just finished the the last event, but
Mhm.
that will be coming up again in April of 2024. So
Mhm.
that'll be the 10th through the 17th, and then the other event that we have coming up would be Denver,
Okay, wonderful, wonderful.
and of
Okay.
course Bacha Tour. So that's kind of what we've got going on this summer. I'm sure there'll be some other things that will pop up uh, between now and then.
And I want you to do me a big favor, Cassandra, because you seem more organized than I am. Please announce these stuff again and send people reminders on the job boards. Job boards.
Definitely,
Where's
I
my mind?
will.
I had a long
I
day today,
will.
everyone. I'm sorry. Job board. I mean, on the the bachata board, job board. Oh
Oh,
God.
I didn't even catch that you said job board
Yeah, I said job board. I'm like, please
on
announce
the
it in the
bachata
job board.
board.
You can tell
Right,
I
right.
need to. My mind is like on work. So yeah, but please, share all of this stuff. You know, um,
Absolutely.
again, and the cool folks love the bachata stuff, and maybe you can also share it as the week comes for the event. Maybe it's like a friendly reminder. So maybe someone like me could be
Definitely.
like, "Oh yeah, Cassandra." So I don't have to go up to you and say, "You never told me about this." You're like, "What? Yes, I did." Like,
Well, you're
honestly,
already scheduled for Bacha Tour in October. I'll keep your schedule cleared for that week.
you're a sweetheart. You're a sweetheart.
Thank you.
I want to say, oh no, I'm sorry. That's the question I wanted to ask you. You personally, where do you see yourself like 10 years from now? Is that a good question?
Yes, I'm going to be doing the exact same thing I'm doing right now. I have
Okay.
no intention of slowing down ever. I will dance and teach and do what I love until I cannot take another step. Hopefully, that will be a long time away.
Okay.
I think that we'll be back and forth more between here and Dominican Republic more than we are now. I definitely do see that happening, but definitely, the dance company will be still in full swing, and that website is
Mhm.
www.bailaconpasion.com, and then Bacha Tour will continue. Um, yeah, I mean, I'm gonna keep dancing, keep teaching, keep performing, doing what I love.
I'm happy you answered that question because I was going to say, if I'm happy you guys are not interviewing me. My answer would be, well, I'm going to try out to be one of the X-Men, be one of, like Professor School of the Gifted, like I can be like the next Cyclops or the Wolverine. No, not Wolverine. No, he's not. Well, a peaceful one, the blue one, the grizzly one. I try out to be an X-Men, that's what I'm going to be 10 years from now. No, but in all due respect, Cassandra, from my heart, thank you for all you have responded to. I know my questions were, not Oprah questions, but
That's okay.
it's okay. It's okay.
No
You answered them.
worries.
You answered them, and I love you for doing that. So, out of respect for you, thank you for everything you said, and I hope everyone, acknowledge all your advice, especially the children. I know everyone. I just want to say for the records, I know, I'm like the little joker here, and I kid around, but in all due respect, please, remember what Cassandra said, especially about, the stuff about, the competition and like the stuff about for the kids and all of that stuff and the beauty of DR. So I respect her for everything she said. Okay.
Follow your
And
dreams.
I just want to say, Cassandra, I'm heading back to New York for the summer. My mom and stuff. So if you and your husband are ever up in New York this summer, let me know. I want to introduce you to some cool people. You
That would
know,
be wonderful. I haven't been in New York in a long time.
I was
I
like,
haven't been up there in a while.
yeah. Or if you need anything, please let me
Thank
know.
you. Thank you.
And thank you for posting, all your
Yes.
stuff. You can, do what, continue doing what you're doing. You're doing a great job. From the
Thank you.
bottom of my heart, I speak on behalf of everyone. Thank you for that discount. I'm still in shock because, I just, I figure, I mean, I know, again, I know we talked about this before, but I didn't think you, those numbers. So, but I just said from the bottom of my heart, I'm thanking everyone on behalf of everyone who's not thanking you, but they should be. So we're thanking you, and I'm thanking you on their behalf in advance because you're a good person.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Thank you. We want you guys to come join us. It's going to be amazing.
Okay. Thank you so much. You have a good night, and take care. And hopefully we can do this again. And whenever
Definitely.
whenever you want to. Okay. You have a good
Thank
night.
you
Thank you
so
so
much
much.
for
Okay.
having me. It's been a pleasure and honor. I'm thrilled to have been a part of it. Thank you so much, Roswell.
Have a
Thanks,
good night.
everybody, for tuning in. I hope to see you on a dance floor soon.
Thank you. Have a good weekend.
You guys, too.
Okay.